I think we're live. Yes, we are live. So we're just having a very casual discussion about the latest news here with one of our Secular Jihadist patrons, James. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you very much
Um,
for having me.
yeah. By the way, if anyone else is watching this, if you're one of our patrons, you could message us on Patreon and let us know you wanna chill. This is very casual, not planned, just like hanging out, talking about random stuff.
Well,
Um,
technically, I'm a patron too.
Yes, you
that's
are.
why, yeah, that's why you're here too.
No,
My-
I thought it was because I'm an honorary jihadi.
Well, all our patrons are honorary child. You're not that special, Susanna.
Damn.
Like,
You're gonna do me like that.
all right. But what are you guys going to start with? There's so much happening around the planet.
I know. It's like, what do you say, right? I mean,
I was just watching the news about Target giving in to the anti-woke crowd for once.
Oh yeah.
That
Really?
was like, yeah, I was like, what's happening? I saw, okay, so there was a book about, I don't know if it was a good book or a bad book, but it was about trans related, right?
Okay.
And I saw that they originally, like, a whole bunch of woke people came and called it out, and they're like,
Mhm.
this is transphobic, and Target pulled it off. And I'm like, well, this is normal, right? This is what we expect. Like, something is, they come and say racist, trans. And then, I thought like this whole, I keep telling people that this is going to end soon. I don't know how soon, but the woke stuff is going to end soon. We have other more important things to worry about, right? They're bigger, like the far right stuff, Islam, Christianity. That scares me a bit more. And I think the woke stuff is going to die out I don't know when, but soon, hopefully. And then I saw the follow up to this whole Target news is like, they're like, you know what? We're putting the book back up. Sorry, we need to have more diverse. Like,
Oh, which
we need
book
to.
was this?
Let me find out.
I'm recalling it. It sounds familiar. Are you sure it was?
They decided that they're gonna put it back up because they're like, we have different kinds of customers here, and maybe the book is like, we're gonna put it back up. So that was like, what? Like,
It's called Irreversible Damage: The Transgender Craze Seducing Our Daughters by Abigail Schur.
Oh, I saw this on Twitter the other day. I think it came across someone posting saying that Amazon finally put it back. Amazon pulled it down. They put it back up. And it's all about transgender, the youth, the young kids. Is that what it was?
Yes. So I can read the blurb if you would like.
Please, yeah.
Until a few years ago, gender dysphoria, defined as severe discomfort in one's biological sex, was vanishingly rare. It was typically found in less than 0.01% of the population, emerged in early childhood, and inflicted males almost exclusively. But today, whole groups of female friends in colleges, high schools, and even middle schools across the country are coming out as, quote, transgender. These are girls who have had never experienced any discomfort in their biological sex until they heard a coming out story from a speaker at a school assembly or discovered the internet community of trans quote unquote influencers. Unsuspecting parents are awakening to find their daughters enthralled to hip trans YouTube stars and quote unquote gender affirming educators and therapists who push life changing interventions on young girls, including medically unnecessary double mastectomies and puberty blockers that can cause permanent infertility. Abigail Schur, a writer for the Wall Street Journal, has dug deep into the trans epidemic, talking to the girls, their agonized parents, and the counselors and doctors who enable gender transitions, as well as detransitioners, young women who bitterly regret what they have done to themselves. Coming out as transgender immediately boosts these girls' social status, Schur finds. But once they take the first steps of transition, it is not easy to walk back. She offers urgently needed advice about how parents can protect their daughters. A generation of girls is at risk. Abigail Schurer's essential book will help you understand what the trans craze is and how you can inculcate your child against it, or how to retrieve her from this dangerous path. So that is what is listed on
What?
Amazon.
So James,
That's
you're
what I thought.
what you actually we it's a great that you two are here. James, what's your profession?
So I'm a physician assistant. So in the States, I don't know if the world has a lot of PAs, but it's basically MDs, and then PAs are between a nurse and a doctor. So RNs here, and then you have PAs. You also have nurse practitioners. So some people call them mid-level practitioners. So
Okay.
So basically, I'm trained to, like, I have a supervising doctor that I work with. I've been doing this for 18 years. So I'm pretty much, I have a group of doctors I work with, and I treat, diagnose, write orders, order x-rays, write prescriptions. I have prescribing authority. I order labs. I do minor procedures. But yeah, I just do, I worked ER. I've done a whole bunch of other stuff. But
Okay, so what do you think about this book?
you know, for me, I want to read the book, okay, because I was having this discussion with my wife. My daughter is 19. Okay, she's sophomore in college, kind of straight up into that BLM. Not really BLM, but like just for a lack of a better way of putting it, the woke, right? And it's accepted. I was there too when I was 19. I'm 51, you know. But,
developmentally appropriate.
It is, but and the good thing is she dialogues with me about it. Okay,
that's very positive.
Where other kids and other people really don't. It's like, you know, and she's got her strong opinions, but we talk about it, and we were discussing this, and you know, my wife and my daughter are probably along the lines more of the, well, if they've identified with this and they've found it, and they should go ahead and do it. And I agree with that if you're of the age of consent. Not even that. I would say, like, beyond puberty, beyond into, you know, but we've got evidence that hormones are still affecting young bodies in the age into 21, 22, 23. So if you're going to make that decision, I don't know if this was in the book, but, you know, a 3-year-old can't be walking up saying, "Mommy, I don't want to play with dolls anymore. I want a penis." That's dumb. 3-year-olds, I mean, that if that's what we're talking about, enabling that kind of thing, where I just think it's.
But children do have an affirmed sense of their gender developmentally within the ages of 2 to 3 years old.
I just think that making a life-changing decision at that point is going to affect the next 70 years of your life. I think it's like me. I'm 51. I was like, I don't have all the answers. I don't. But there's something that comes with experience. Sometimes you're more wrong. Sometimes it's more right. But I mean.
No, I get what you mean. So I would not advocate for a child to go through, especially at the ages of 2 or 3, even though they very clearly express their gender identity, which is well documented at that early of an age. I don't think that they should go through medical procedures, but children who are not allowed to express as they feel within themselves actually have been documented to harm themselves physically. So by the ages of 5 and 6, there are some, you know, people, male, but identify as a woman, who have almost they've been like, there's one instance that's coming to my mind of this child being caught with scissors in the background, basically taking it to her penis, you know, because she wasn't allowed to just express it through a dress, right? And so I wouldn't say that child should go through sexual reassignment at that age, but ways to prevent that extreme of behavior is just letting them dress how they would like to be presented, you know?
And phrasing it like that, that's fine. I mean, you know, I grew up in the 70s and the Free to Be You and Me era. I don't know if anyone knows Free to Be You and Me. But, you know, William Had a Doll, you know, that was a song that was sang by Marlo Thomas and Alan Alda. You know, I grew up through that. I have no issues with anyone expressing dolls, wear your pants, I don't care. I just think when it comes down to reassigning your gender, like just whatever it's called, and again, I'm a PA, I work in pain management, I work in ER, I'm not an expert in gender disorders, or I think people should find a life find a way to live the life they want. And I think that if you feel gender dysphoria and you're of the age with proper counseling, I don't see any reason why a healthy process couldn't take place.
Or maybe you have something to say.
My understanding is that some right-wing people are exaggerating how many people are actually coming up with the suggestion that we need to do gender reassignment on 2 or 3-year-olds. I don't think that's a big thing. I mean, but I do agree that even if it exists a little bit, it needs to be addressed. But I do think that they are making it seem like they are using this as a way to be like, I'm not a transphobic or anything like that, but we're going too far and blah blah. I like, how many times is this happening? And it's just like, where? And it's just like, it's not. I don't know. I think like they go find the most ridiculous cases as a way to dismiss an entire movement while trying to pretend like they're not against that movement. Like, I don't know, like, for example, how many, like, this is why so many people are obsessed with the athletes, right? Like the people who are clearly have no business competing with certain other people. Like, it just seems so unfair and it doesn't seem right, and they just go like, but those are such a rare and unique examples, and compared to the entire trans right movement that is about not discriminating against trans people, they just went and got obsessed over some small, like, I mean, fine, address that, but they try to use these examples of ridiculousness as a way to completely dismiss the entire trans movement. Like they always mention, like, yeah, okay,
kind of
fine.
what they do with the left.
Yes,
try to make a mockery of it. Try to make it palatable to their base. I mean, I like what you're saying, though. I mean, I agree with you. I do. I think they are trying to do that and go for the extremes, and it's unfortunate because I think there's a lot of children, a lot of people in the world who this is a route they might want to go. Again, I'm not. I'm a liberal. I have voted. I had an argument the other day with a trans woman. Not really an argument, but she was a trans woman, lesbian. Okay, mid-40s. It was just about politics, but it really didn't get into the trans issues. It just got into the issue of I'm not a liberal. I'm not a progressive. I'm not a Republican. I'm a communist. I'm a socialist. I'm a leftist through and through. And I'm like, but if you go try to live out your best trans life, which I've voted for and I'm happy to support here in this country of mine, I mean, if you try to live that out in China, or try to live out in Russia, I mean, they're going to kind of.
Hello.
I mean, that's kind of my thought.
James, wait, no, you're not supposed to go there.
Sorry. Just supposed to say something?
No, she's joking.
Good. Okay, thank you.
I'm joking. Like, you're asking questions, you're raising points. That it's like, what? No, you're not supposed to talk. That's what I mean.
A lot of people don't. I mean, a lot of the crew that I talk with, for 2 years ago, I was a Bernie Sanders supporter. I was this year as well, but I was so much that I went and got involved in the California Democratic Party. I got actually elected as a delegate and I went and voted at conventions and did 2 years of that from 2017 to 2019. Realized that just wasn't the part of politics I wanted to play. Just part of the Progressive Caucus. I met Tulsi Gabbard. She was like a big star there, and I was like, way back when I was less, and I was like, and then I started reading into it, and I don't want to do the whole Tulsi Gabbard Syria thing, but I've been around a little bit, and some of my peers in my current groups don't really. They're too woke, I guess. That's the word we're using these days, for lack of a better word. They're still very woke, and it's difficult at times to. That's what I find. I find it's hard to talk with people, to bring them back to those. Like you said earlier, I'm hoping this will pass.
I think it's passing. I think the wokes are like just louder, but they're not that as many as a lot of people make them seem to be. Again, and I keep saying like more and more. I think they get these times, like these small time periods that everybody is like, okay, fine, what do you want? We'll do that. But it's just like over like a week or so, and then everyone comes to their senses after, right? And I think that's what happens. I don't think they're going to be that influential. The worst they did is the effect that they had on the community standards of online platforms. That is their worst effect that it's going to be staying with us for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think I always say that, the problem is, okay, so here's the thing. When it comes to right-wing people, the far right is a fringe group among right-wing people. When it comes to woke people, the woke people are a fringe group among leftist people. Okay. The problem is, what happened is that the woke have been given megaphone, like loudspeakers, to talk to everybody, and the far right have been driven underground into the darkness for nobody to see. Okay, so that's why I think like we kind of need to be a little bit more worried about the far right. But people were like, no, but look at these woke people. They are they're like everywhere. I'm like, I mean, the far right people, they're also everywhere. No, but they've just been deplatformed out of everywhere. So people think they're not a problem anymore. They're still over there. They're still there, right? And the woke people, because they're right in front of everybody and everybody keeps giving them the platforms and highlight them, it seems like they are the main problem. But I'm telling you, like the far right people, they're an ancient enemy and they are much more sophisticated in their tactics. And also, when it comes to, I am more worried about the people. Yeah, no worries.
Hold on, California stuff.
Oh, what? You have an earthquake?
No, getting some weed delivered.
California. You said California stuff. I thought it was something earthquake.
Sorry, that was my wife. She had to figure out how much. An eighth or a quarter of weed was our choice there.
That is California time, baby.
No,
Cali living.
It's better than eating Xanax.
Oh, damn, I right?
So, no, my wife is highly allergic to most things out there, side note, but you have to rely on that a lot. So, unfortunately.
I understand.
But anyways.
No, I'm saying like woke people tell you like, hey, you have to, the way that the woke people dominate, they say like, you have to agree with me or you're gonna lose your platform or you're gonna get canceled. Okay. The way the far right operates is that you're the wrong color, so you die. Yep. Right? Yeah. Right. I mean, when they get that level of influence, like, oh, you're trans. Okay, so we're gonna cancel you.
That's like, one thing, but they're gonna kill you.
No, yeah, we're gonna cancel you from living. Like, how about that? Not from a platform. Like, but like again, that's what they do when they're in power. So I just have to constantly remind people that's. I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't complain about the woke people. I mean, we do that all the time, but I'm just saying, like, let's just be careful. Let's just be mindful about who the true like scary people are. But anyways,
yeah. I mean, if I had to, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
I agree with that. I mean, when I first heard about you and Ali and everything, and Yasmin and Cecil, we were back in 2013, 2014. I was really concerned about Islamists. Wolf was just coming around about that time. It really wasn't a big thing. 6 years later, down the line on this thing, the woke is an issue. I don't rank the woke as a big problem, personally. I don't. I got friends who live in Portland. My good friend of mine is an ERPA in downtown Portland, and I talked to her. How's Portland? She's like, Portland. How's the rioting? She's like, 3 square blocks. What do you want me to tell you? They're doing shit over there. We're going to work. I mean, that's what it is, And I was worried about Islamists initially, Majid and all those things. And I think if I lived in Europe, if I was in Norway, Sweden, Britain, I think I might have different viewpoints. But the germane issue in my town, Southern California down here, white supremacists. I'm Metzger died 15 minutes from here. He drew his breath 15 minutes from my house. I could throw rocks at his freaking shithole house. I grew up in San Diego. Grew up with Tom Metzger, and he was 82. He died of Parkinson's and Hemet yesterday, or 2 days ago. And so I know law enforcement out here. I'm a gun advocate. I go shooting. I vote for Bernie, and I love my automatic weapons. Okay?
Hell yeah.
I'm an enigma. I don't try to fall into any one little spot. You know, I go shooting. I go to Nevada, the front site, and shoot there. I train. I have fun. I enjoy. But I don't. A lot of my friends in that regard are right wing, redneck law enforcement. I mean, I can tell you how many people I know in law enforcement in this area. There's a big, strong river of supremacy, white supremacy running through that. Some areas more, maybe not so much through LAPD, but maybe Arkansas PD, where that police chief got kicked off Parler, or he went to Parler and he started saying he would kill Democrats, and then he had to resign his job in Arkansas.
Yikes.
I mean, so anyways, I think in my particular area in this country, like you said, Armin, I think the right will kick, some of those extreme right, not the right, but the extreme right, they will kick the white supremacists. That's just the deal.
Right.
They're going to cancel you on social media, so I'll get another account, like I did.
Okay, so now that you mentioned guns, though, you two are Americans. Can you
Hell
explain?
yeah, we are.
I don't understand this whole thing. What is it with guns and you people? What is it with guns? Why do you guys love your guns so much? I don't get it.
For me, it's sport. For me, it's sport and fun to shoot. I've got one in my house and it's separated in a lock with an ammo somewhere else. I mean, so I don't have them like. I have one that I would have to take 10 minutes probably to put together if someone's put. I go out and rent them. I go to gun ranges. For me, it's a group of people. It's fun. I enjoy the target, the aspects, the skill involved.
Have you tried video games?
Yeah, COD, Battlefield.
Okay, so I mean,
I played all that.
Okay, as much as I'm not against fun and but is it that important for us to have fun so much so? Like, why is the United States not like every other civilized country when it comes to guns and gun laws? And like, why is that? Yeah, I know, but why can't we? What would you guys be in favor of getting rid of the Second Amendment? Oh, you would be. Oh, okay, James would be.
Oh, no? I love my guns. I love shooting. I love going out. I love the skill. I love being able to, get my targets down. I love being able to sit there and draw in 2 seconds and get my target. It's fun. I mean, I enjoy that.
Right.
I would have no problem with the strict gun laws. I mean, I think you need some guns in some places, but I have no problems getting rid of the Second Amendment. I have no problem adjusting the Second Amendment. I have no problem living in a world without guns. I'm not enamored of guns. I just like, they're freaking fun to shoot.
But Susanna was like, no, shoot.
I love them.
Susanna disagrees with James. Why?
I don't even have like a very well-formed argument. It's probably just a function of how I was raised. I was raised in a conservative family. I was raised by, men who grew up as poor farm boys who had to go shoot and hunt their food that their family was going to eat themselves.
But you don't need the Second Amendment for that. Countries that don't have the Second Amendment, the hunters have guns and they go get to shooting.
Yeah, you can hunt.
Yeah, you can still hunt. Yeah.
Did you ever read Sam Harris's take on guns, the Riddle of the Gun, the podcast he did?
No. What does he say?
It's basically it's a nuanced view on it. Where he argues that if you're going to really get serious about banning guns in the United States, talk about handguns, because assault guns don't do the killing. If you're going to yell that assault guns, he gets very nuanced on it. But Sam's also a guy who trains. He says, I carry a gun, I'm armed, and because people want to kill me.
Yeah, but so when any American that wants to defend the Second Amendment, they have to explain why it would be uniquely devastating to the United States in a way that it's not the same for every other, advanced country. Like United Kingdom, Germany, France, Japan, Australia, they're all doing fine. They all have extremely strict gun laws. The fabric of society is not falling apart. I mean, nobody has yet managed to explain to me why it's easy, why you don't have at least the same requirements to be able to drive. I mean, getting a license, it's harder to be able to get the permits to drive a car in the United States than getting a gun. It doesn't make any sense.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, but what's the
completely
counter?
in your corner on it. 100% agree.
Okay, but what's the counter?
We're 4% of the world's population. So 328 million people, according to the latest census. That means there's 7.7 billion others on the planet. 4%. And of that 4%, what? Half of 1% of it love their guns, and it's politics. And the whole big thing in this country is that we want to move politics forward. Like, I tried to work with Wolfpack back in 2014 to get the 28th Amendment going. We got it approved here in California. And then I stopped working with them. But changing the way that money works in politics in this country is what's going to need to happen, because the lobbyists and the gun lobby is ridiculous. The NRA, I grew up in the States. I was a Boy Scout. The NRA, when I grew up, taught gun safety, taught hunting skills, it's something you sent your boys or girls to because you wanted them to know gun safety. There was no politics involved with it. It's when Reagan came in the 80s and that whole NRA thing and my guns. And then you tell everyone, well, Reagan's responsible for removing all the guns in California. And then they freak out. Did you know that? Reagan, when he was governor, the Republicans were so pissed and scared about the Black Panthers in Sacramento. Stokely Carmichael went up there with a gun. That the Republican state legislator and the Republican governor signed a law banning weapon ownership in California. That was a Republican.
Oh yeah, I actually heard about that. Yes.
In a response to the Black Panthers. So I think maybe the best way to get rid of the Second Amendment. I think the United States will be a better country if you get rid of the Second Amendment. I genuinely think that. I think the best way to do that is to arm the Muslims in the United States. For the blacks, minorities, everybody.
Not just the Muslims.
The National Black Gun Owners Association is headquartered in Atlanta.
Let's have a movement calling it #Arm the Muslims.
Well, look at Killer Mike. Killer Mike's out there saying the last thing I'm going to do is give up my Second Amendment rights right now. You kidding me? I'm a black man in America. The last second thing I'm doing is giving my fucking gun. In fact, I'm going out there telling my friends to get their CCWs and learn how to get more guns.
Right.
I mean, that's not my community.
That's not a good tactic. There are tons of pro Second Amendment people who are like, yeah, do it.
I know.
Yeah. We're like they see, through all these BLM protests, there's I think it's a group called something along the lines of like F around and find out. I think that's that's the name of it. Something like that, like F around and find out. Gun club or something. And they'll go demonstrate at I've seen them at some BLM kind of associated events, not personally online. And a lot of Second Amendment people are like, hell yeah.
Well,
they see militant black gun owners and they're like, yes.
Why did it get hard?
That we're ready now. We have something to go against, or now it's going to be a good battle,
they're like,
or
they just like things with guns.
They're like, this is you exercising your right. Awesome.
They just get a hard on with over anything with a gun, I guess.
Oh,
maybe. Okay, so maybe women who want to get abortion, they just should arm themselves when on their way to get abortion. Like maybe if you want to get conservatives, to be pro-choice, okay, get armed the woman and be like, and tell them that they're gonna protect. I don't know.
What are you saying to me?
I'm just okay. Just like get the woman to be armed while they go get abortion, right? You're like, I'm defending my gun rights and my women rights. Okay, just confuse the conservatives. Confuse the conservatives. They would be like,
Option. Where are you going with this argument?
I'm just saying that these people are so
shoot the newborn apple.
yes, that. No, I'm just saying, if these people are gonna give up if they're so obsessed with guns that they're like, okay, racism, they forget their racism. Maybe we could make them forget everything else as well. They'll be like, you're pro-life. Look at this woman with a gun going to get an abortion. How about now? Okay, like,
Yeah,
like maybe you should just. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying, like,
no, I get
maybe,
it.
yeah.
Exercising one right in order to maintain another one, or just so the
People
They just-
probably already do that. Like,
They do that.
I would not be surprised in the least if people already do that. Maybe
Okay.
not in a way as to make a statement publicly.
Trans
There are women who do this.
with guns.
I mean, we'll put this way.
Armin, that already exists. There's a socialist
Trans-
rifle. Yeah, there's a socialist rifle association in my area that gives
Okay.
you the special Velcros that go on your bulletproof vest that are in the trans colors. They have pronoun tags that are Velcro for your fucking
Okay, so if more
they
trans
them.
people-
Brap, brap.
I
okay,
don't
but
fucking get that. That's ridiculous. Jesus Christ.
but no. What's that
When I was
If-
a militant leftist, they were pro Second Amendment. They were actually, a lot of them were against gun regulations because they said that gun regulations would disproportionately target Black and brown communities. They were
Okay, so if
militant.
more trans
trained-
people were armed, would the conservatives be like, okay, I'm for trans right now? Like, look at all these armed people. Like, they get a hard on over everybody who's armed, right? They're willing to look past their skin color, their sexual orientation, their gender identity. If they see you armed, they're like, okay, fine, we like you now. So maybe we should just arm everybody, and then everybody will get.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why people and why Americans are enamored with it. You know, my dad was a Navy officer. I didn't grow up with weapons in my house. I never had weapons in my house. The only weapon I have in my house currently was given to me by a doctor friend of mine who was moving out, going into a convalescent home, and he's like, "Look, I had this from a long time ago. It's actually an antique. It's a 1943 Walther knockoff from World War II. So it's about $3,000. But that's all I've got. I've never gone to a gun show. I've never gone and bought a weapon. But I'd be happy to have them gone. I don't need them in my country, but they're not going to go away anytime in my lifetime.
I'm still laughing at Offsheen saying to shoot the newborn out of
Shoot newborns out of the womb. Shoot the newborn.
That's very
Womb. They said womb
yeah.
too. That's rocking.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I grew
what
up
was
with
it?
weapons in my house. My grandpa is a lifetime member of the NRA.
In Iran, we had to actually learn how to use weapons in school.
Yeah.
In middle school, we were forced. Yeah, it was like, I thought it was going to be fun. I was looking so forward to that day that they're going to go teach us how to play. I thought we're going to be playing with guns and we're going to be shooting guns. Nope. We just had to take it apart and put it back together again and clean it. I'm like, when do we get to shoot it? And we never got to shoot it. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, we would just have to solve a puzzle. Like, we had a Kalashnikov and a G3, a Russian gun and a German gun, and we just had to they took it apart and now put it back together again. Like, we just played Humpty Dumpty basically.
Wow.
Yeah, it was such a major disappointment.
I like guns that exist. If they are gone tomorrow, whatever. I don't care. That's my
But this is mandatory in class in school for kids.
Yeah. Well, you were in
That's
the
what we
Islamic
went through.
Republic, right? I mean, that was that when it was pre? I mean, was that before the Islamic Revolution, or is that after?
No. That was after.
He's
Oh,
not
after.
that old. Shoot.
Yeah.
I'm just,
The idea is
I
that
don't know how old he is, honestly.
the idea is that everybody has to be ready to go to war. That's why.
Okay.
Like, everybody has to be able to be ready to defend the country. If the leader calls you out for defending the country, then you have to go and defend the country, and everybody has to be somehow be trained.
Did you
By the
go
way-
through conscription? Or did you leave Iran before you had to go through conscription?
I paid somebody. We paid somebody to pretend like I did 2 years of military service.
Hell
Got
yeah.
out.
So I got the card saying that I did my military service, and I didn't. I've never. I did never. Yeah.
I have some. Actually, nope. I can't say that live. Never mind.
Wait, James. So you do hunting?
No, I've never gone hunting. No, I've gone fishing, but I've never gone like. Well, no, I did in Alaska. I did go hunting once, but I'm not a hunter. I went hunting with a friend. We were on a boat. We needed, but I don't.
Because I was gonna see Luke. Luke is a vegan.
Luke.
And I was
trying to trigger the live chat.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
No, I don't hunt, but I still eat meat.
I always thought, like, isn't hunting like a mercy kill for animals in nature?
In
Like,
parts
shouldn't
of
it?
America,
Yeah.
it is, because like with so much urbanization of wetlands and destruction of property, in America, it's kind of like the deer herds get overrun. The duck herds, they don't have natural predators, so they have to kind of cull the herd with hunting.
No, but I mean, maybe
they even pay you to go shoot certain animals because it's so overrun, and it actually is a public service to help maintain the ecosystem.
I mean, shouldn't it be a crime not to shoot animals before they die and suffer slowly? Shouldn't it be like I mean, it's more suffering. You know, like, why are we not like people who are like not specious? They should be around to be like, why are we letting these animals die so slowly? This is so cruel. Get the hunters out. Like, wouldn't that be the right? Like, I mean, I'm just looking at it from a utilitarian perspective. Okay,
Yeah, well,
which
and
one?
that's what it is. I mean, if it is a utilitarian perspective. You have the United States of America in its natural state and habitat and forests and natural lands with no human intervention, and things are just going to be a natural circle of life. But if we intervene with everything, now you've got deer that are overpopulated and everywhere, and then. I mean, is that what you're saying? I don't know if I'm picking.
What I'm saying is that I watched a deer get hunted by like a tiger, and these motherfuckers, they just play with their food. I watched a deer go through like half an hour of torture, and I was like, God damn it, just kill the poor guy.
Yeah.
Like, they just like the babies are feeding on it, and the mom is just like choking on the neck. And the deer is just experiencing every fucking, and they're just eating, and the deer is still alive. I'm like, somebody take a gun and shoot that thing. It was so, I was devastated watching that. I was traumatized watching that. I'm like, look at these cute little lionesses, like eating this thing slowly. And I'm watching a torture scene, and these cute things are just nibbling on it, and that deer is just experiencing every single one of that. I was like, God damn it, like hunting. Like, when humans hunt, they don't do this, right? When human hunts, they just take it out and it doesn't go. Like, hunting is mercy kill. I'm telling you, hunting is mercy kill.
Yeah, the tiger doesn't care. The tiger is just you can't animalize the tiger. You can't project your emotions on a Tony the Tiger. He's hungry.
I mean, every single deer that doesn't get hunted either gets killed by another animal and experiences a very slow and painful death, or it dies from starvation, which again is a very slow and painful death. It's one of these two. The best you could hope for is to meet a hunter at some point in your life. Like, every single animal that has met a human hunter in their life, like, they don't know how lucky they are that they were shot in the head, because they have just avoided a lot of excruciating pain.
Just put you out of your
like,
more plot there.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me how I'm wrong. I'm triggering Luke now. Tell me how I'm wrong.
Luke's kind of. Oh gosh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Hunting, guns, America. We're gonna have
words.
But I'm all for that. Like, I love red meat, but at the same time, Beyond Burgers Impossibles, if you can grow that stuff and make it taste like it does, I'll give it up. I have no problem. I love what we have, and I'm going to enjoy the heck out of it in this country, in this life, blah, blah. And I'm going to try to do what I can without hurting others. And I'm going to try to have a job that helps others. But if we're like, I'm kind of like a centrist. I find myself being a centrist, but I campaigned for Bernie. I put boots on the ground here. I donated money. I knocked on doors. Right. Bernie didn't win. I voted for Biden. Do I want the new Green Deal? Yes. Am I pragmatic and understanding it's going to take more than just that, oh my God, I want a new deal. It's going to be great and wonderful, happy, loving, because the climate change is gone. No, fuck off. It's not good. I'm pragmatic. So I want the brass ring. I understand I might not get it. I understand it may not be my turn on the merry-go-round to get it. And I don't mind working for it for others to get it. That's the concept in society. And that's the kind of shit that people forgot. It's like when Obama said, you didn't build that. And everyone freaked out. You didn't. Bet you didn't build it. The New Deal built it. So I wish we had that. I wish we had to get some way to get over that concept between us right and left and society in general. I wish people could take a civic class when they graduate and make,
I haven't looked into the. Yeah, see, it's very interesting because the Green New Deal, when I consume different, like I haven't looked into it myself, but I just by consuming the content coming from different sides, it's either the best thing that we have or it's just like
destroy us.
It's just, like I don't know which one of these it is. It's either like identity politics mixed with fascism, or exactly the right investment that we need to take United States into the next to becoming, creating new jobs and technologically, economic powerhouse, and invest in the exact right technology that's going to move us to the next level in leading the world when it comes to alternative source of energy. It's one of these two. I don't know which one, okay? Because different people are telling me different things and I haven't looked into it, but it's so amazing how different it sounds based on who you listen to, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the fascist take is though, like it's a bit too much.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty
well, they don't want anything that interferes with business. Anything that interferes with the bottom line is the threat. That's the whole thing,
Right.
And that's bullshit. I mean, you got to have a bottom line. I get it. You need cars, you need roads, you need oil, you need stuff. You need to trend away from that stuff because it won't last.
Right.
I don't.
I mean, I seem like people people that keep talking about American exceptionalism they don't realize that shouldn't America be leading the way in taking us into a newer form, like new source of energy for the entire planet? Like, isn't like this is? I mean, like, isn't that like? Shouldn't you be proud of that? Shouldn't you be like, if anybody could take us off of fossil fuels, it should be us. Like, we should be like, oh, the people say like, we are number one. We are number one. Like, shouldn't you guys be the one that be in favor of all this? Like, hey, let's be number one in saving the planet. Like,
but people argue that the methods that the Green New Deal proposes to do so are actually not only will they not do that, it might do the reverse.
How so?
Well, it's completely anti-nuclear.
Oh, the Green New Deal is I thought they included nuclear in the Green New Deal.
My understanding is completely and firmly anti-nuclear.
Oh, well, fuck the Green New Deal. I'm pro-nuke.
No, but
pro-nuclear.
No, I love nukes.
Is it anti-nuclear or is it looking at other alternatives?
I do know the Democratic Party for the first time this election did include nuclear power back in their platform. I do know the Democratic Party did that.
Okay, but what was originally proposed by AOC excludes specifically nuclear.
But does it stop it? Does it ban it though? Like, is it like maybe it's looking at alternative sources, but it doesn't stop you? Does it stop you from doing nuclear?
Well, this says that for 48 years, Democrats endorsed nuclear energy, and that was back in August.
Right.
Yeah, so that's more recent. I'm looking at something from when the Green New Deal was newer.
AOC wanted, and
it was saying that the plan is to transition off of nuclear.
Oh, okay. James?
Gee, I just honestly, I just think we should be building more nuclears. I think molten salt reactors, whatever the nuclear physicists who are doing with these crazy mini combination tiny nukes, wherever they can dump one in a city and power a local town. The sooner we do it, the better we do it. The quicker we save the planet. Because it's, I mean, I live in California, and I just dealt with this crazy. Hey, anyone see California this summer on fire? Hey, we had a fun time. Transmission lines, the power, we get hot. I live out in an area. I just had 100, 100 melt to 115, 120 degree days. Everyone's running their AC. And one advocate for nuclear in California is, you get nuclear going, you can get rid of a lot of these high power transmission lines because you have local nuclear plants, little local nuclear ones in areas that will produce and not have the need for these big giant transmission lines, which in the growing climate problem is risk.
I'm sure you can negotiate that back in the Green New Deal. I'm just thinking like throwing that whole thing out doesn't seem like a bad idea. Like, hell yeah, it didn't have all the options that we like, so let's just go back to burning the thing that is ruining the planet. I mean, yeah, I'll take the deal that doesn't have nuclear in it, but at least it's doing something compared to just like same old, like the people that keep like, I mean, coal and gas, man, like that needs to end. That shit needs to end. Like, how do people not know that? Like, people are like, oh, too much government involvement. Like, do you guys say that about the the regulations with lead that like we survive? Like the regulations are needed sometimes, right? Like government. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. I mean,
we substitute oil and gas industries, I think, in the United States to about $5 billion. And they were screaming, remember back when, I don't know, John Boehner back in the Congresses a few decades ago, he's like, we're defunding Sesame Street. I'm like, 128 million. And you're still giving $5 billion to oil and gas. And the big problem there is they can win that stuff because people don't understand scale. The whole million billion thing, you ever try to explain that to people? A million seconds is 11 days and a billion seconds is 31 years. I mean, wow. It's just magnitudes of scale. It's just people don't understand. If I paid you $1 a minute, you make $3,600 an hour. You work 24/7 in almost 12 days. You'll make $1 million. It'll take you 31 years at the same rate to make $1 billion. And Musk, I mean, and that's money, but in the scale of other things too, people don't understand the concepts, and start talking trillions. It's like 33,000.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the subsidies because the same people that complain about too much government intervention, like lay off these industries, like, oh really, you want government out? How about we stop the subsidies on oil and gas? They're like, no, we want no.
And that never flies. I don't understand. I don't think, how do the Democrats lose that? How does the party that I've joined with recently, how do you do that? How do you lose that? They somehow do. I don't get it. It's there's a lot of apathy in the Democratic Party too. So, I mean, you guys, I missed that thing you guys did with the whole, Trump securing more Muslim votes, more Black women votes, more Hispanic votes. I mean, that's something the Democrats need to pay attention to.
Yeah. Yeah, and another thing is like, hey, we landed at the moon, but solar panels, like, oh no, that is too much for us. Like, that is too much. Oh, no, let's keep staying in the past. Yeah, I mean, this is the country that like, hey, nobody could land on the moon, like, but we're gonna do it. And now they're like, can we have more solar panels now? Like, nah, that's a bit. Yeah, we landed on the moon. We're like, oh yeah, we're the country that landed on the moon just to prove to our enemies that we're better than them. That's all we like. There was nothing in the
hell yeah.
There was nothing on the. There was nothing on the moon, but we went there just so that we could tell you that this is what we can do. Okay, this is who you're messing with. Okay, this is us. Okay, you're fucking with the people who can land on the fucking moon. There's nothing up there, and we went there. Okay, this is the United States
there. God.
And now United States is like, guys, we're like, the planet isn't we're killing the planet. Can we have more solar panel? And like, too much government and like oil. Yes.
No, what the right wingers often do is they redirect the focus to China and India. They say, well, they're the ones producing most of the air pollution.
Yeah, but how are you going
to? They would. How are you going to try to argue that the impact that we would have is minimal? Until they get their shit together.
Okay. how are you going to even pressure them to get their shit together when you don't have your shit together, right? Like, okay, it's China and India. Let's go pressure them. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You are the only country that pulled out of the Paris Accord, and you're lecturing us. So even if you want to be like, okay, yes, United States, the country that pushed countries to do so many things, okay, the country that was like ruling, like I'm the word police. Now that we actually need you to lead the world to be like, hey, police this shit, motherfuckers. You want to police this? Okay,
they won't.
Pressure India and China. Like for once we actually need you to police something, and then you're actually backtracking before everyone else. Okay, but yeah, maybe get your shit together so you could actually go lecture other people and get China and India to get on board with you. But first, you have to do it first before you could lecture other people. So even if for the sake of pushing China and India, at least do this. So like, oh yeah, why do we do it? Oh yeah, let's tell the atmosphere that, like, yeah, let's make the whole pollution and global warming. I'm pretty sure it's just going to stay on top of India and China, and just because they're doing it the most, the rest of the planet is not going to get influenced by this. It's so fucking moronic.
It is.
I'm getting angry. I'm getting angry.
Don't get too angry.
In the live chat, wait, where is it? And they were saying, oh my gosh, wait, this is so funny. Yeah, Armin, I enjoy watching your videos when you're mad, angry. Get mad, buddy. You got what you wanted.
Oh, here.
God damn it.
Oh my gosh.
No, yeah, this is the no we can't crowd. No, we can't. Like, we're the best. We're number one. Can we do this? No, we can't. No, we can't. Let's stay back.
Oh, James, you're muted.
Oh, James, you're muted. James, you're muted. Unmute yourself.
Oh, it says that his mic isn't connected.
Oh, you disconnected your mic. I think your mic maybe ran out of battery or something. 1 second. All right. Wait, what was I saying about the... Also, even if you want to focus on China and India and all that stuff, if United States leaves the scientific, if they focus on research and technology, look at this. Like when the United States came up with the internet, the fucking internet. Okay, did the internet stay in the United States? No, it didn't. The rest of the planet has internet now. Okay, so you're like, oh, it's China and India, pressure them. No, motherfuckers, if you lead the way when it comes to technology, when getting us on alternative sources, guess what? That technology, the fucking planet is going to be able to take advantage of that. Okay, it's going to spread everywhere. You guys were supposed to be like the country that led the way in technology. Is like, we're not going to do it unless China and India, man. Like, this is what they are now. This is what they are now. Like they used to lead. Everyone looked to the United States like, oh my God, these people went to the moon. We need to go now. We want satellites as well. Oh my God, these people created the internet. Look at the United States. Now they're sitting back like, we're not going to do it because China and India is not doing it. This is what United States, this is what you look like now. I'm not going to do it first. Why are those people not? This is what the United States look like now. This is how they are. This is what is happening to the U.S.
Oh no, where did James go?
We lost James.
Oh no. Well, is there any other current news that's on your mind?
No. Get your shit together, United States.
Wow.
Oh. Wait. James is back.
I'm trying.
Hey, we can hear you now.
We can hear you.
I just had to kill it because of battery. It's whatever.
Yeah. This is why
I had to kill to live again. I had to die so I had to resurrect myself.
It was a mercy kill.
It's usually.
I didn't take 3 days though. It only took 3 seconds. All right. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a crazy world, man. For me, I'm just trying to help people. And I just live my life and do my thing and try to help my patients and try to influence people, my family and kids. Because it's a world we're all gonna have to live in, man. We're woke. unwoke, right, left. I mean, certainly in America going forward from this point with, the one thing I didn't like was AOC. We're going to start getting a list. I'm like, oh, no, you're not. No. We're going to talk to you like it's a bad thing. That's not a good thing.
Was it as bad as people make it seem like? People are like, oh, she's putting people on the list, and people are like, oh, this sounds like fascist. I was like, it's just a list. I mean, I have a list of my simps. Okay.
It's just the whole put an enemy on a list to go back and get them later. It's probably just all BS. I mean, the Republicans have lists; they just don't tell people they have them.
I know, but like, is it? Are we really?
Point is that like it's just such bad marketing. She is being exactly the figurehead. She's being exactly this caricature that she's gifting that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a gift.
Her opponent.
Okay.
Who was handling you because they should have told you to shut the fuck up. You can believe that. Just keep that shit to yourself. You don't have to.
Okay.
It's like going out. We're going to expand the court. Hey, Martha.
Okay, it's bad. It's a bad look, but come on. But the other side, people that they're like, oh, I know who else was taking lists. Like, oh, the communists, they were taking lists to send people to the gulags. I'm like, I'm pretty sure she's not like.
She's not.
That's
I don't. I mean, that at all. But the right.
I know. I know. I mean, as okay, if we want to point to how ridiculous she looks by taking lists or whatever, I mean, I'm not seeing that big of a problem with it.
She was publicly calling for like their public punishment.
Okay, punishment what? What punishment she was asking for?
Social consequences.
Okay, social consequences. Boo! Oh no, you're like people are going to remember that you voted for Trump and you supported Trump. How sad, how poor, like, oh my God. I mean, is that what we're complaining about? I mean, fine. If you want to,
they're saying that's, I was trying to just clarify for people who don't know what was going on. That's what she said. Right. Now, I am never going to argue that is the same level of hyperbole that her opponents are making it out to be. But she gifted them that opportunity.
Fine, but if we want to make fun of AOC for putting people on a list, then we should make more fun of the people who are comparing her to fascists and the purpose of them putting people on a list, right? So AOC, even if she looks ridiculous, the people who are comparing her to her list taking to fascists who were putting people on trains, they are even more ridiculous than the list taking of AOC, right?
Ghost Bunny is saying Armin is on a list in India.
Yeah, you are. Right. That is true.
Stoney is saying, I'd agree with Armin if it wasn't for the fact that she's a politician. It's hyperbolic, but it looks very bad.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks bad. I guess I find it looks bad.
It's the job title that makes it effed up.
Okay. As bad as it looks, does it not look worse from the other people who are comparing this to, communist gulags and stuff like that? Like, isn't that also a worse look? Isn't that like even a worse look than whatever? Like, she's like, let's keep a list of the people who supported Trump. Like, AOC, that's a bad look. Okay, fine, that's a bad look. But then the people who are on the other side, like, oh yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, this is Stalinist. This is Stalinist talk. Okay, so if
talk.
Okay, so if AOC's list taking is a bad look, the people who are saying that this is Stalinist behavior, that's also a bad look. That's even a worse look. I don't know. I'm just saying. Yeah.
No one's perfect, man. I agree with AOC sometimes. I'd vote for her over some other things, but do I think you should keep a list? No. Do I think she over the squad? Hey, they're pushing for their representatives. I mean, that's what people don't get. Welcome to representative democracy, folks. You elect and you run a campaign, you get elected, and you shut up and wait for 2 years.
What I don't like about AOC is that she seems to want to bring in identity politics and things that doesn't have anything to do.
Everything she talks about.
Right, she's like, we're talking about energy, and she's like, well, the Latinx community, and I'm like,
the last thing I heard was the Latinx community was kind of pissed off at the Latinx vote.
Yes, that's what I heard too. I heard a lot of Latino people are like, what the heck? They don't like being. I mean, there seem to be more
Majority of
conservative.
them polled,
Huh.
of the polls that I have seen, of the data and research that I have seen, the majority of the actual Latino community has never even heard the term Latinx.
Like, what is this?
It's
Like
being
that's
fucking
you.
promoted by major companies. This is how you now address this entire demographic, and they're like, "What do you Latinx? I'm a Latino motherfucker!" Like,
Right? It's like, what do you get? Yeah, it's like you foisted this definition onto me, and now, like, what? Now I'm not.
oh my god, no, our friend Vince, I was talking about it with our friend Vince, and he I think I can't remember if it was me or him that said this, but we were joking that it's you're recreating, you're perpetuating linguistic imperialism, you guys. By promoting the term Latinx, by saying like this is, you know, how this community is addressed, and they themselves are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I think some of this shit just goes too far.
All right. Okay, I think we did good. Let's end this live stream. We touched on what we went over a lot in 1 hour.
There was a bit of quite a bit there, but I think we all agree on where we want the world to go.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay if you don't agree. We don't have to agree. Yeah.
And that's what the world has to get to. It gets to the point where we can agree to disagree and have the dialogue. That's
Or even disagree to disagree. That's also okay. Like, you're like, I disagree with you, and I don't even agree to disagree with you. Okay? That's okay. All right. All right, guys. This will be reposted on Secular Jihadists YouTube account. Okay, so this is for discussion with our Secular Jihadist patrons. If you are a Secular Jihadist patron, message me on Secular Jihadist and let me know that you want to have a conversation with me. But I'll go live on my Armin Navobi personal channel and then re-upload it on Secular Jihadist after we're done. Okay, so message me on Patreon. I don't check any of my inboxes at all. I mean, I do sometimes with some specific people, but but the inbox that is the reliable inbox that I check is the Patreon inbox. I'm sorry, I just don't have the time. But anyways, so yeah, links. All the links are in the description. All right, bye.
Come hang out with us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes,
All right.
it's nice to meet you, James.
Nice to finally meet both of you. Take care. I look forward to doing it again, hopefully.
Yeah, same.
All right. See you guys.
See you.